Senior Vice President of the International Pharmaceuticals Federation, and he has been also president of the Indian Alliance, Pharmaceutical Alliance, Pharmaceutical Association. Sorry, there are so many acronyms in the country. Praful Bhai has been involved with us for quite some time now in the partnership for safe medicine, which got converted into patient safety and access initiative. And we worked a lot on, developing standards, protocols, doing studies. He is the first one who has conducted a study on the degree of spurious medicine and not of quality medicine in the supply chain in India. So because this introduction can carry on. He's so learned and so much rich with his background. I would not now you all Google search and know more about him. Praful Bhai, can I request you to do the welcome address on behalf of the organizers?
Thank you, Vijayanda. Thank you for asking me to do the opening. See, my warm welcome to you all for coming in such large numbers. This webinar is organized by the Aware Consumer magazine, the only English monthly magazine in the country which deals with the matters of the consumers. I have personally known Vijayanda for a long time, and I find him as a very untiring consumer activist. But he's also founder of Consumer Online Foundation and Patient Safety and Access Initiative of India Foundation. Most importantly, consumers in India recognize him as a proponent of Jago Grahak Jago. Now, I would like to say a few words about today's webinar. Although this is a stakeholder consultation, we must also look at it as a reality check of the promise that was given by the government to the consumers. One nation, one tax. We have with us prominent guest of honor, Shri Syed Zafar Islam, former MP and national spokesperson of BJP, sir. Thank you for joining with us. I know you are not in India right now. You are traveling. Our chief guest is Mr. Manish Mohan. He's also on the screen. He's Principal GST Commissioner, Delhi. Our keynote address today will be Mr. Sanjeev K. Chadha. Sanjeev ji is advocate, Senior Standing Counsel, GST, New Delhi. Gentlemen, thank you for your participation. Professor Bijon Kumar Mishra, as always, is going to moderate the program. Now, just to reiterate now, next-gen GST reforms, very briefly, these reforms introduce streamlined structure with now only two principal rates, essential goods and services. One is the merit list of 5%, and these contain all items of the common consumption. The second rate is 18%, which covers most of the items in the economy. Additionally, a demerit list of 40% applies exclusively to luxuries and sin goods. Several items have been granted complete GST exemption, making them tax-free. Individual health and life insurance premiums no longer attract GST. The tax operates on a destination-based consumption, where tax is collected at the point of consumption rather than production. The most interesting thing, which I think we are all looking forward to, is that the success of the GST reform will depend on effective implementation and the extent to which the business pass on the tax benefits to consumers. I think day after tomorrow, we will start having products coming out with the new GST rates. In this connection, already we have seen directives coming from various agencies towards the implementation of GST reduction to manufacturers, marketers, importers, and requesting them to reduce MRP to the extent of reduction of GST with effect from 22nd September, which is Monday. However, passing on benefits is a concern whether corporations will pass on benefits of GST rate cuts to consumers to enhance their purchasing power. I would like to sum up by just saying two things which I have on my mind. Regarding GST reforms, while there is a substantial relief from GST, there is an anxiety that industry and service sector may not pass on total benefit to society and expected savings may not accrue to the end users. Also, the extent of benefit pass-through remains to be seen. For example, though individual health and life insurance premiums no longer attract GST, there are doubts whether the benefit of premium reduction will be to the extent of 18% or just a symbolic gesture. We have been hearing all kinds of figures, but I thought I mention this. Also, where GST got reduced from 18 or 12% to 5%, will the subsequent benefit to the consumer will be accordingly 13 or 7%? Will the benefit show similar reduction in MRP? No. As consumer, we must understand that based on actual calculations, the pass-through impact will be slightly less in terms of MRP of the difference. For example, 13% difference of MRP reduction will be to the extent of 11.02. And 7% difference of the MRP, the reduction will be 6 rupees and 25 paise. Now the moot question is, in case the seller does not pass through appropriate reduction in MRP, would the seller be subjected to fine or punishment? In conclusion, I would like to say, while there are concerns about benefit pass-through, the GST reforms have the potential to positively impact consumers and drive economic growth, provided industry and the government work together to ensure transparency and compliance. I thank you all. Now I request Bijanda to kindly take over the proceedings of the webinar.
Thank you very much. Fulbhai, thank you very much for the warm welcome. I will I'll just share with the participants the format. All our keynote speakers, the keynote speaker, Mr. Sanjay Chadha will speak. Then our guest of honor, Syed Zafar Islam. And then after that, we'll have the chief guest, Manishi, to speak. So I would straight go to Sanjay Chadha ji, but before I pass on the mic to him, I'd like to tell all our participants a bit about his background. Sanjay Chadha ji is the founding and managing partner of BSK Legal, where he leads the firm's litigation, arbitration, and labor law compliance practices. With over 3 decades of distinguished experience, under his leadership, the firm has successfully managed matters across more than 600 districts throughout India. He currently serves as the Senior Standing Counsel for GST New Delhi and has been at the forefront of significant litigation and advisory work relating to goods and services tax. Over the years, he has dealt extensively with disputes, compliance issues, and policy questions under GST, making him one of the most respected voices in this domain. Chadha ji has also served as a sole arbitrator in various matters and advises a wide spectrum of clients, including multinational corporations, and high-profile individuals. He completed his master's from the prestigious Shri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University in 1992, followed by his LLB from campus of Law Center, Faculty of Law, Delhi University in 1995. Beyond his practice, he is committed to public legal education. Through his television appearances, where I happened to meet him several times, and public engagements, he has simplified complex areas of law, particularly GST and consumer law, making them understandable for the common citizen. His vision remains law for all, with the belief that knowledge is the key to empowerment. I must tell all my friends that he has been a very big support for us, because when I shifted from Delhi to Hyderabad, I was wondering, how do I manage my office from Delhi? And then, while I was talking to Sanjay ji casually about this need, he immediately came forward and said, आपको क्या चिंता है? आपको नहीं चिंता, आपका ऑफिस ऑलरेडी है, आप हमारे premises से काम करते रहिए. And I'm so happy to tell everybody that all that work which I've been doing from Delhi earlier, even after shifting to Hyderabad, I've kept my base in Delhi, and Sanjay ji is the big support who is helping us. So Sanjay ji, please come, pick up the mic and give your keynote address. Sanjay ji.
Thank you very much, Bijanda. So kind of you for such a nice words for me. I know it is always reciprocity. You have given me so much love, I must say. He calls me Sanju. All right.
Yes, that's right.
So that's about sir, who's really very lovable and gives me always he has given lot of knowledge, everything. I have my firm, we have been doing a lot of consumer related work also. We were even part of 2019 new consumer law team. We were there in that also. Anyways, so today's, first of all, I would like to thank Manish ji, Praful Bhai ji, and Zafar Sahab for accepting this invitation from Bijanda and me jointly, I can say. And
Yes.
so thankful to you for your presence. Mahadev Sahab, so kind of you that you have joined at this hour in the morning from US. Thank you very much. Today's topic is very relevant, as we all know. I can say that if you take up today's newspaper, Zafar Bhai is sitting not in the country, and Mr. Bhatt is also not in the country. Today's newspaper, if you see, all these FMCG and many other companies have placed, car companies have placed their advertisement that the prices before GST and after the GST2 are these. And that is how so much of price reduction is going to be there. So this topic is very, very important. Just 2 days are left. We have seen today's newspapers where this was widely covered with the advertisements. That's what I'm saying. Of course, certain article and editorials were also there. It's a big event. We have moved from, as it is stated, Prafulji has also said, complex multi-slab taxation to a simple, transparent, consumer-friendly system we are moving ahead with. That's what is GST2. Transformative approach, as our finance minister has said in various addresses. We have seen her on various television screens where she has said so. So transformative approach is being adopted. Deep discounts, easier compliances. Manish ji will appreciate that now with those 4-5 slabs, the compliances have become very easy. Reduction. I remember when we used to go for debates on GST in the beginning, GST1, we used to say 39 forms are to be filled every month or something like that. So huge compliances were there. Those are reduced. I remember discussing when the initial GST 1 was coming. We are very fortunate. Manish ji was part of that group, and when that formation was happening, finance ministers from all across the country used to come to India, come to Delhi, and they used to sit and with Arun Jaitley ji and all. So Manish ji was there with another Manish Sinha, if I may recollect it. So how economic stability it will provide, that's what is all across we are talking about. And it will boost demand. That is what is the target. I will come to another point which is very important as to the key focus of the government is by reducing this, they want to boost the demand. That is what is the key aspect which we have to keep in our mind. The government has, of course, all the legal mind, economic minds of the country have taken this decision, which is very big decision. I will show as to how, I will tell you in the later half as to how much loss we are going to incur, the government exchequer, with this reduction. But as I said, it is going to boost the demand. That's what is the target for the country. Whether we will be able to achieve it or not, that has to be seen. Economic stability, government says that this will bring economic stability. It will further give protection from various hidden taxes, input and all that I will be discussing. These are the benefit which the government is, and many economists are on various screens, they are saying so. We all know that earlier there were 4 slabs. Now we have come to 2 slabs. So slab of 12% and 28% are abolished. Now there is another demerit list is created, which is a very welcome step. I think tobacco is there, aerated drinks are there, where the luxury tax, you may say it, or you may say sin goods to these goods, that they have been, they are going to be 40% tax on those goods. Otherwise, we have uh, uh, 5 and 18. These are the 2 tax slabs. Prafulji has already told us, and very neatly and very cleanly he has explained that. So I'm not going into that. Now, the most important part is that the government, while taking this decision, has one very key thing which was there in their mind. What was that? That the benefit should reach consumers. The benefit should reach to what you call that, FMCG products, as we call them. Major benefit is there. All of us know that list. Now, uh, I'm going to take 5 more minutes and tell you, if I may elaborate, if you want. I have got that list which
The
shows.
format is you tell us all the highlights.
All right.
And
So
then we'll come back again.
wonderful, wonderful. Let me take 5 more minutes, and I will finish as to what are the highlights. As I said, FMGC is the products where a great benefit is going to come to the consumers. Then auto industry, electronic industries, ACs, TVs, dishwashers, they will have to migrate to a lower taxes. Then footwears and many key, like the kitchen, grocery, etc., is going to get great benefit out of this. So there is a long list that I don't think. Now I would like to talk about 2, 3 very important points, which are where I feel that mind of all the economists and the people who are little worried about this change, they will be talking about. Substantial shortfall in the revenue is going to be there. Bijon Bhai, you will be surprised to note, you must be knowing the figure, but 48,000 crore will be the shortfall. Now, what is there in the mind of, that's why when Prime Minister was speaking, and he said in a very positive way that it's a Diwali bonanza for the people. So what the people have to keep in mind, that it is nothing less, it is 48,000 crore rupees, which is now from the that kind of revenue shortfall is there. So we have to keep that in mind first of all. Now what is the so that kind of fiscal strain, I must say, the 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 the, the government is going to see, and see it in the coming financial year. It will certainly, this could widen the fiscal deficit. We have to certainly keep that in mind. Another thing which is very crucial and important is this will lead to little conflict between the center and the state relations, because the state have to also reduce the tax which is coming to the booty of the coming to in the pocket of the state. That will also be reduced. Earlier we know that states from last so many years, they are demanding some more money from the central. So I'm not going to elaborate it. I feel that government is uh, you know taking us to consumption based economy. That's what I feel. So they are taking us from this economy, we are little slightly shifting from the current setup to the consumption. So consumption will be taxed. That is what is the orientation of the government in this change. Now this is one. Now if I tell you two, three more technical things which are very important, and I'll try and elaborate them with very simple examples. Like one thing is there, like structural issues in GST design, which have been pinpointed. We every day we see that the critics are using this and saying that still the GST, once those structural issues are still continuing, the government has not removed. How? I'll tell you, they remains there as per them. Like inward duty structure, if I talk about, where input are taxed lower than the where output is taxed lower than the inputs. That is the difficult area. Like if I take an example of pencil, so what will happen in pencil? The inputs are, one is wood, other is let's say what would you call, lead, granite, that is there. So if the output, pencil is, I'm just giving a hypothetical example, pencil is taxed at 18% and input is those wood and lead is 5%. So there will be a difference. That is one aspect. So how there is a complexity in refund process. A lot of complexities are there, and every day we see that people are crying about it. So that is continuing. Number one. Number two, like input tax credit, which we call ITC, is its bottlenecks are always there. What happens is, like some, as I gave you, now I give you one more example. We look after many insurance cases. As Prafulji said, that insurance is going to be tax free. Now, what mail I received, you will be surprised. They said that now we do not have input because they are not getting any GST. So we have to, we are, it is compulsory for us to reduce the fee structure. So we are reducing your fees from X amount to Y amount. This is today's thing which happened with me. I'm sharing with you. So insurance, we are looking after a lot of insurance cases. They have written that we are reducing your fees. I've not replied that's not the topic here. But that kind of scenario is going to be there. And the biggest and last for my discussion point is passing of the benefit. We have seen in past various examples, like Dettol's example I want to give. What had happened, uh, you know, Dettol was taxed 18%, wherein once a lot of people said that it is an essential commodity. So it was 100 rupees and 18% was the tax. So it came out to be 118 rupees, to, to which the government various meetings were held, and they used to fix the charges initially. So it reduced down to 5. So the tech, it should have been 105 rupees. But what they told did, they proportionately increased the rate and tax. So nothing came into the pocket of the consumer. So this is one of the very important aspect which government has to look into. What mechanism they are going to adopt, we have to see that. Now people say, no, we will see that if the price is 100 rupees today, the government through an agency which will see that the price remains 100, and the GST's benefit, reduction of GST benefit will go. No, what will happen? Okay, he will keep the manufacturer will keep the price for 6 months. After 6 months, he'll increase. So these kind of things are there, which are very, very important. But overall, if you see it from the point of view of the consumers, it's wonderful effort. Certainly in favor of the consumers. And Vijon Bhai is looking at me. I'm now, I leave the stage for others now.
Thank you very much, Sanjay ji. You have, in fact, as I fondly call you, Sanju, you have raised some very pertinent points. And of course, the most important thing is I got involved in the consumer movement for the last 45 years. And in fact, for the last 20 years, we have been working with the government to ensure that the taxation is made transparent and it is made very simple and easy to understand for a common man. And that is when we started talking about one nation, one tax, one nation, one tax. When in 2017, Modi ji took the courage of introducing GST and harmonizing several taxes which were being charged to the consumers, unknown, because the consumers were ignorant, not aware, they were ignorant that they are paying tax over tax over tax over tax. So it was, a very unfortunate situation which was going on. And the present government, when they took over in 2014, they started seriously looking into this issue. That while we don't decrease our revenue, collection, but at the same time, we ensure that it is made simple, easy, transparent, and every citizen to understand what is this tax we are all talking about. So having said that, I would now immediately like to call upon our guest of honor, Syed Zafar Islam, MP, former MP and spokesperson of BJP. But let me give a brief introduction to everybody. Everybody knows him, I know. He's a very well-known person. And, all my friends, we all met for the first time in the debates of the television shows. So Zafar Bhai also, I met him many years back in terms of taking the consumer issues forward as a politician. So Syed Zafar Islamji is an Indian politician from the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, a financial expert and a former member of the parliament in the Rajya Sabha representing Uttar Pradesh. A management graduate and a seasoned investment banker by profession, he previously served as managing director of Deutsche Bank's Indian operation before transition to public life. Inspired by the politics and the vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he joined BJP in 2014 before the general elections and quickly rose to prominence as one of its national spokesperson. In 2017, he was appointed as a non-official independent director on the board of Air India by the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, underscoring his credibility as both a financial strategist and a policymaker. Widely regarded as one of the prominent Muslim leaders within the party, Syed Zafar Islam continues to serve as a national spokesperson, articulating the BJP's positions on political, economic, and social issues. Alongside his political responsibility, he contributes opinion columns to leading national newspaper. As he told me today, His column has appeared in the Hindustan Times. So you all should have a look at what he has written, including the Indian Express and Hindustan Times, writing on politics, governance, and economic affairs. He also undertakes a lot of philanthropic work. Syed Zafar Islam is a great friend, a big supporter of the consumer, and we always are very fond of such politicians and elected representatives who always takes our views to the parliament debates and brings in good legislation, strong laws to the consumer. So I would like all my friends who have joined to now listen to Syed Zafar Islam. The mic is yours, Zafar Bhai.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Bijonji.
Always.
Thank you very much for a very generous introduction. And a warm welcome to all of you. We all have gathered here to discuss something which was really historic when the announcement was made on 3rd of September. And the GST2 Generation Next 2 GST reforms, something which we often, very often we call these reforms as a Gen 2 reforms GST. These reforms, actually, when it was made, we have to really discuss about little bit of do a back testing and understand what exactly led to these reforms. In fact, Mr. Bijon Mishra has spoken a little bit about it, why the government had to do this 8 years ago. Prior to that, we had various indirect tax structure, very cumbersome. We had a state tax like VAT, we had SENVAT, we had multiple taxes, including octroi, and all used to lead really complex, becoming very complex tax structure, and even for transporting one good to another state, from one state to another, used to be really difficult task for any companies or the production houses. But the Honorable Prime Minister, when he inherited the economy in 2014, it was a very fragile economy, and he decided to really work hard and bring a lot of legislation, about a lot of policy reforms, a lot of structural reforms, and one of them happened to be GST reforms in 2017. And one of the conditions he had in mind, in his own mind, that when he will bring and when he will introduce GST, because it was discussed, debated since 2002, when the first it was introduced by the late Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, that it is important to have a one nation, one tax kind of structure to remove all the cumbersome process which the country is following. But it took several years, almost 15 years, to discuss, debate between the various political parties. But one of the reasons why the Honorable Prime Minister introduced and got it made a legislation in 2017 with the consensus approach, because he wanted to have consent of every political party. It is one of those rarest of the rarest moment where the Treasury bench and the opposition bench, everybody supported this structural reforms, because everybody felt that the indirect tax is a very complex tax structure, and it needs to be simplified and make it fairer for the citizen of this great country. So 8 years ago, we introduced something, but of course, that was a starting point. And that time we have a tax bracket of the tax rate compliance was around 65,000 people, 65 lakh. And today it has become within the GST net, it has become 1.51 crore, the tax compliance who are filing GST returns. Secondly, which is more important, that in terms of collection, which used to be 7.93 lakh crore in 2017, has ballooned because of the compliance. It has ballooned to 22 lakh crore. So roughly around 2 lakh crore per month, which is like it's 18% compound CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. If you see, it has grown by almost 18%, which is very good. And it has really helped us in following the fiscal deficit, the target the Honorable Prime Minister had set for the country, and it has helped the country and the economy as a whole. But in 2017, we had four structure: 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. This, of course, has also led to few confusion for the MSME, few confusion for the business communities. But this particular reforms ensures that all the complications, confusion has been put to rest. We have moved from 4 structure to now we have only 2 slabs, 5% and 18%. From 28%, many of the items, almost 99% items has moved from 28% to 18%, or some have even to 5%. And from 18%, 12%, most of the items have moved to 5% or zero GST, or 18%, some of the items have moved to 12% or 5%. So put together, if you see 28%, from 28%, 99% items have moved lower to 18% or lower. And from 18%, 90% items have moved from 18% to either 12%, either 5% or 0%. So that suggests that the intent of the government was that to make it simpler, fairer, and it should touch the life of every citizen of this country. So the beneficiaries are every citizen. It will touch the life of every citizen of this country. Secondly, it will definitely help the business community. It will give new energy to the business community, and they will become more productive. So idea was the 3 important ideas the Honorable Prime Minister had while introducing GST2. One, of course, to ensure that the common man on the street should be the biggest beneficiary. That was the first objective. The Aam Aadmi should be the biggest beneficiary, and that's why the essential items, the things on which we consume every day, like dairy products, that has been made 0% GST, like milk, like paneer, like curd, which we consume every day, and the common man or common citizen of the country, every day they have milk or even paneer or even curd, that has been made 0%. Then the groceries, which has been made 5%. So groceries have been made 5%, and likewise the essential items, hair oil and other things, that has also been brought to 5% tax rate. As Mr. Manish said, that there are 3 things, which is like 5% and 18% and 18%. And 40%, the 5% is the merit tax, 18% is essentials, and the 40% is the sin goods, which is demerit tax. For luxuries and for the sin goods, they have introduced 40%. So put together, the exchequer will lose around 95,000 crore in the GST collection, but this sin goods will compensate around 45,000 crore. So net loss to the government, as Mr. Chadha was saying, around 48,000 crore. But of course, the government intention is to give to help the common man to have more revenues, more income in disposable income for them. They have more. The slogan we have is थैली and थाली दोनों में पैसे ज़्यादा होने, थोड़ा दोनों में फायदा होना चाहिए. So you will have more income, more disposable income, more saving, and also you have a better food, because you have a disposable income, you will consume more. So when you consume more, as Mr. Chadha was saying, that we are migrated towards consumption-led economy. Actually, we are a consumption-led economy. We have the biggest market, we have the biggest population. It's not we are moving. We are 57-58% contribution in the GDP growth actually comes from the consumption. Now this will again boost the economy, because we will have more demand. It's a virtuous cycle. We'll have more demand. We'll have more consumption. We'll have consumption will lead to more investment, and investment will contribute to GDP. So there is a basic understanding that what we are calculating, that the American administration have put tariffs, which is the discussion in the country and globally, that they have initially introduced 25% tariff, increased from whatever percent earlier was there. They have increased to 25%, from 10% to 25% now to 50%. So this will result into impacting our GDP growth by almost 45 to 55 basis points, a rough back of the envelope calculation. But the government, the Honorable Prime Minister, had understood this, and to ensure that the economy does not suffer, what he did, he basically did in the budget, he reduced the taxes. So first, reduced the taxpayers had to pay less, so reduction in taxes, direct taxes. Then the RBI governor, the RBI took initiative to reduce the interest rate by 100 basis points. And the now GST rationalization, all put together, the contribution of the stimulus to the economy will be over 100 basis points. So whatever the impact, the negative impact, because of the tariff American administration has imposed on us, 50% tariff, will get offset because of the stimulus which has been given to the economy by the various initiatives undertaken by the government, including tax cut, interest rate cut, and of course GST rationalization. That is why, I mean, I just want to digress a little bit, but that is why, if you have to understand that this S&P has upgraded us after 18 years. Why? Because they realize that even though they can't, American administration cannot go beyond a number. Even this 50%, I'm sure that the kind of discussion we are having, it will come down significantly. Even it will. I will not be surprised if the actual tariff will be between 10 to it's somewhere in teens, maybe 13, 14, 15, 16%, but not beyond 20, even 20%. Eventually, after the discussion, so the impact, they realize that the impact of this tariff is not going to be permanent, and it is a very temporary measure. But the initiative that the government has taken, what under the structural reform which has been undertaken by the government, and the policy initiative, the policy reforms, which will lead to substantial contribution to the economy. And based of the various rough calculation, every organization is making, but the S&P has made a calculation that it will only grow the economy. Indian economy will grow even despite the 50% tariff which has been imposed in the, on India. If they reduces, it will further boost the economy. So if you see the last quarter, GDP growth was around 7.8%. And of course, over a period of time, the next quarter, it is likely to be lower than what it was in the last quarter because of the various reasons. But overall economy, in large economies, among the large economies in the world, Indian economy will continue to grow very fast, and incremental contribution, the global GDP will be around 18 to 19%, or 1/5 of the contribution of incremental global GDP will come from India alone. That suggests that Indian economy is in good shape. All the reforms which has been taken is actually working for the economy, and whatever complexities was there in the system, like for GST, the MSME was struggling because of the tax refund, because of the blockade of working capital and other issues. What they had done, they were facing, that has also been simplified in GST2 reforms, because now they will have 90% refund immediately. There will be no blockade of their working capital, and all the issues which has been highlighted, Mr. Chadha, that also have been addressed adequately in this GST reforms, and the compliance issue will no longer be a big task for the MSME, and that will definitely help, because MSME is the backbone of our economy, and if they feel comfortable in terms of the compliance requirement, and if they have the working capital available with them, and if they have the refund, which is 90% coming immediately to them, they will definitely be able to work much better than what they were working earlier. So the MSME, the business community is the beneficiary, the common man is the beneficiary, and it will bring buoyancy in the economy as well. So overall, if you see, I mean, I don't want to go into details, but when we discuss, we can go into finer details. But overall, if you see, the one stroke of pen, the Honorable Prime Minister has achieved many objectives. One objective, as I said, the common man should have more disposable income. The MSME, which is the backbone of our economy, they should have more energy, renewed energy, because all the issues have been addressed. And this will lead to more consumption, and this will lead to more stability in our economy. Even IMF, if you just recollect, the IMF, what they have, the outlook for the world GDP. India, the global GDP is contracting. Indian GDP, they have their outlook has actually improved, despite all the negative announcement by globally about the tariff. Yet they have improved our GDP outlook for India from 6.2 to 6.4. That itself suggests the resilience Indian economy has. That itself suggests that the initiative which has been taken by the government is working for the economy, that it suggests that the focal point of every decision which is being taken by the government is the common citizen, because every decision which the Honorable Prime Minister takes, he targets only the common man, that they should be the biggest beneficiary. We strengthen them, and that should be our primary objective. But there are issues which have been raised here by two other speakers, that whether it will be passed on to the consumer or not. I think this is a very important and relevant issue, and we as a government, we as a party, are working towards that, because we are having seminars and meetings across India. All the party workers have been assigned to go to every single nook and corner of the country, sensitize them, appeal them, the trading community, the business community, that the benefit which has been given in the form of GST rationalization and reforms and reduction in GST should be passed on to the end consumer. And that is something which the Honorable Prime Minister has not once, several occasions he has spoken about it. The responsibility has been given to all the Karyakartas of Bharatiya Janata Party to propagate this, and also request the business community to pass on this benefit to end consumer. In last week, in fact, I have spoken several cities across several states on this particular issue, and I'm sure that the business community have been sensitized enough that the concern of the consumer, that whether it will be passed on or not, or whether they will get the benefits or not, I think it will get adequately addressed. And